Jnana-salakaya Sakshur-militam yena tasmai Śrī Guruve namaha. Namo Mahavarinaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurātrise namaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Reading from Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta by Śrīla Kṛṣṇadāsa Kavirāja Gosvāmī Maharaj and the purport from Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Vedanta Swāmī Prabhupada. Jai Śrīla Gurudev. And we are at Madhya-līlā chapter 10, the Lord's return to Jagannātha Purī.
Which text, really?
Text 140. In conclusion, dealings in affection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead brings happiness many millions of times greater than dealings with Him in awe and veneration. Simply by hearing the holy name of the Lord, the devotee is merged in transcendental bliss. After seeing this, Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu embraced Govinda, and Govinda in return offered his respectful obeisances unto Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu then continued speaking to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Consider this point. The servant of the spiritual master is always respectable for me. As such, it is not befitting that the Guru's servant should engage in my personal service. Yet, my spiritual master has given this order. What shall I do? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, the order of the spiritual master is very strong and cannot be disobeyed. This is the injunction of the Shastras, the revealed scriptures. Being ordered by his father, Parasuram killed his mother, Renuka, just as if she were an enemy. Lakshman, the younger brother of Lord Ramachandra, immediately engaged himself in the service of his elder brother and accepted his orders. The order of the spiritual master must be obeyed without consideration. The order of a great personality like a father must be executed without consideration, because there is good fortune in such an order for both of us. In particular, there is good fortune for me. After Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said this, Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu embraced Govinda and engaged him in the service of his personal body. Everyone respected Govinda as the dearest servant of Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu, and Govinda served all the Vaishnavas and saw to their needs. Both Haridas Senior and Haridas Junior, who were musicians, as well as Ramai and Nadai, used to stay with Govinda. They all remained with Govinda to serve Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu. Therefore, no one could estimate the good fortune of Govinda. The next day, Mukundadatta informed Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu, Brahmananda Bharati has come to see you. Mukundadatta then asked the Lord, shall I bring him here? Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu said, Brahmananda Bharati is like my spiritual master. It is better that I go to him. After saying this, Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu and his devotees came before the presence of Brahmananda Bharati. When Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu and his devotees approached him, they saw that he was covered with a deer skin. Seeing this, Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu became very unhappy. Purport. Brahmananda Bharati belonged to the Shankara Sampradaya. The title Bharati indicates one of the 10 sannyasis in the Shankara Sampradaya. It is customary for a person who has renounced the world to cover his body with a deer skin or the bark of a tree. This is enjoined by Manu Samhita. However, If a sannyasi who has renounced the world simply wears a deerskin and does not spiritually advance, he is simply puffed up and conceited. Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta did not like to see Brahmananda Bharati wearing a deerskin. Seeing Brahmananda Bharati thus attired, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pretended not to see him. Instead, he asked Mukundadatta, "Where is Brahmananda Bharati, my spiritual master?" Mukundadatta replied, "Here is Brahmananda Bharati in your presence." The Lord replied, "You are incorrect. This is not Brahmananda Bharati. You must be talking of someone else, for this is surely not Brahmananda Bharati. You simply have no knowledge. Why should Brahmananda Bharati wear a deerskin?" When Brahmananda Bharati heard this, he thought, "My deerskin is not approved by Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu." Thus, admitting his mistake, Brahmananda Bharati thought, "He spoke well. I put on this deerskin only for prestige. I cannot cross over the ocean of nescience simply by wearing a deerskin. From today on, I shall not wear this deerskin." As soon as Brahmananda Bharati decided this, Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu, understanding his mind, immediately sent for the robes of a sannyasi. As soon as Brahmananda Bharati gave up his deerskin and covered himself with sannyasi robes, Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu came and offered his respect at his lotus feet. Brahmananda Bharati said, "You instruct the general populace by your behavior. I will not do anything against your wishes, otherwise you will not offer me respects, but will neglect me. I am afraid of this." At the present moment, I see two Brahmins. One Brahmin is Lord Jagannātha, who does not move, and the other Brahmin who is moving is you. Lord Jagannātha is Archa Vigraha, the worshipful deity, and it is he who is non-moving Brahman. However, you are Lord Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu, and you are moving here and there. Both of you are the same Brahman, master of material energy, but you are playing two parts, one moving and one not moving. In this way, two Brahmins are now residing at Jagannath Puri Purushottama. Of the two Brahmans, you are fair-complexioned, and the other Lord Jagannath is blackish. However, both of you are delivering the whole world. Lord Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu replied, "Actually, to tell you the truth, due to your presence, there are now two Brahmins at Jagannath Puri. Both Brahmananda and Korahari are moving, whereas the blackish Lord Jagannath is sitting tight and immobile." Purport. Brahmananda Bharati wanted to prove that there is no difference between the Supreme Lord and the Jiva, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to prove that he and Brahmananda Bharati were Jivas. Although the Jivas are Brahman, there are many, but the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Brahman, is one. On the other hand, Brahmananda Bharati wanted to prove that Jagannath and Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu are one. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, but to fulfill his mission, Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu appeared to be moving, whereas Lord Jagannath appeared to be inert. However, both of them are one and the same. Thus, this jolly argument was going on. Finally, Brahmananda Bharati referred the whole matter to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya for a final conclusion. Brahmananda Bharati said, "My dear Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, please become the mediator in this logical argument between Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu and me. Brahmananda Bharati continued, the living entity is localized, whereas the Supreme Brahman is all-pervading. This is the verdict of the revealed scriptures. Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu purified me by taking away my deerskin. This is proof that he is all-pervasive and all-powerful, and that I am subordinate to him. His bodily hue is golden, and his whole body is like molten gold. Every part of his body is very beautifully constructed and smeared with sandalwood pulp. Accepting the renounced order, the Lord is always equiposed. He is firmly fixed in his mission of chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and he is firmly situated in his dualistic conclusion and in his peace. All the symptoms mentioned in the verse from Vishnu Sahasra Nama Stotra are visible in the body of Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu. His arms are decorated with ornamental bangles made of sandalwood pulp and with the thread received from Sri Jagannath deity. After this hearing, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya rendered his judgment, saying, Brahmananda Bharati, I see that you are victorious. Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu immediately said, I accept whatever Brahmananda Bharati has said. It is quite all right with me. Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu thus posed himself as a disciple and accepted Brahmananda Bharati as his spiritual master. He then said, the disciple is certainly defeated in an argument with the spiritual master. Brahmananda Bharati immediately countered these words, saying, this is not the case of your defeat. There is another cause. This is your natural characteristic. You accept defeat at the hands of your devotee. There is also another glory of you, which is, I ask you to hear attentively. I have been meditating on the impersonal Brahman since my birth, but since I have seen you, I have fully experienced Krishna. Brahmananda Bharati continued, since I have seen you, I have been feeling Lord Krishna's presence in my mind, and I have been seeing him before my eyes. I now want to chant the holy name of Lord Krishna. Over and above this, within my heart, I consider you to be Krishna, and I am therefore very eager to serve you. Bilvamangala Thakur abandoned his impersonal realization for the realization of the personality of Godhead. I now see that my condition is similar to his, for it has already changed. Brahmananda Bharati concluded, although I was worshipped by those on the path of monism and initiated into self-realization through the yoga system, I am nonetheless forcibly turned into a maidservant by some cunning boy who is always joking with the gopis. Lord Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu replied, you have a deep ecstatic love for Krishna. Therefore, wherever your eyes turn, you simply heighten your Krishna consciousness. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, both your statements are correct. Krishna gives direct audience through his own mercy. Without having ecstatic love for Krishna, one cannot see him directly. Therefore, through the mercy of Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu, Brahmananda Bharati has acquired direct vision of the Lord. Purport. Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu said, you are Brahmananda Bharati, an advanced devotee who ecstatically loves the Supreme Lord. Therefore you see Krishna everywhere, and there is no doubt about it. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was a mediator between Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta and Brahmananda Bharati, and his judgment was that an advanced devotee, like Brahmananda Bharati, sees Krishna by Krishna's mercy. Krishna directly presents himself before the vision of an advanced devotee. Since Brahmananda Bharati was an advanced devotee, he saw Krishna in the person of Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta, in the words of Brahma Samhita 5:38. I worship the primeval Lord Govinda, who is always seen by a devotee, whose eyes are anointed with the pulp of love. He is seen in his eternal form of Shyamasundara, situated within the heart of the devotee. Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta said, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, what are you saying? Lord Vishnu, save me. Such glorification is simply another form of blasphemy. After saying this, Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta took Brahmananda Bharati with him to his residence. From that time on, Brahmananda Bharati remained with Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta. Jai, Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Madhya-līlā, Chapter 10, The Lord's Return to Jagannātha Purī ki Jai. Jai, Śrīla Kṛṣṇadāsa Kavirāja Gosvāmī Maharaj ki Jai. Om Vishnupad, Vishvavarena Sila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta, Swāmī Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Gurudev. Then we're reading from Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion, Volume 1. And we have a new chapter, Chapter 8, The Brightest Sun. That is page 91. The gossipers may slander us, but we shall not heed them. Completely intoxicated by drinking the wine of the ecstasy of Sri Hari's service, we shall dance and roll about on the ground and faint. There is a class that think they can take intoxication and chant and dance and roll about on the ground, imitating the divine intoxication mentioned in this verse written by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. They think they can purchase divine ecstasy very cheaply with the help of intoxication, but their whole attempt is deception. Not to mention them, even the yogic attempt is inferior. The agitated mind, repeatedly taken captive by its enemy in the form of depravity rooted in lust and greed, is directly mastered by serving the Supreme Lord Mukunda. It can never be likewise checked or pacified by practicing the eightfold yogic discipline, which is generally based on sensual and mental repression, yama, niyama, etc. So only by service we will get gradually rid of all our, all the say attachment in the material world. By service, by giving ourselves all the rest what we are accustomed to in the material world, it will go automatically. Just service, chanting, service, seeing what we can do for the devotees. In that way, all the things that we now have in us, they will all go. They will all go by, like snow in the sun, like the sun on the snow. It will all disappear miraculously by the mercy, by the grace of the Lord. Here Sri Narada Muni is saying, you yogis think that by the process of controlling the breath, you are getting peace of mind and also control over the senses? But it is only for the time being. Even if you continue for lives together, it is an artificial thing. It cannot have any permanent contribution. You think that control of lust and anger is everything, and that you will find a sort of peace within yourself, that you are master of lust, anger and greed, etc. Kama, krodha, lobha, etc. But you cannot retain that position. That is a lower position, a lower peace, and it cannot be maintained permanently. You will have to fall down. It is temporary. But mukunda sevaya yatvat sanyati, the peace you attain from yoga practice cannot reach to the degree of peace you will find in yourself by serving Mukunda. So the yoga practice and also the Gyan, is an ascending process. From here, we want to go to the spiritual conception, the spiritual realm. From here to there, by material, knowledge or yogic practices. But service is in another category. It is by surrender and service, the mercy descends from above, from the spiritual world to us. So it is a different process. This yoga is the artificial means of checking the kama, krodha, etc. that disturb the mind and bring back reactions. By the practice of controlling the breath, the prana vayu, one can become a master of the senses, but it is temporary. In the narrative of Ajamil, we also find mention of the atonement of the elephant bath. Sometimes a person refrains from sin, but in time he again commits the same kind of sin. Therefore I consider atonement in the line of karmakanda, or in the calculation of worldly deeds, to be as futile as an elephant's bath. So they give that comparison from an elephant. An elephant takes bath all clean, and then just when he gets out of the bath, he walks on, and then he takes the sand again and he makes himself again dirty with the sand. But that is done here compared to maybe for some time yoga practices by breathing and controlling the mind. It's temporary. But service and the connection with the Lord, with the Guru, to follow the teachings of the Guru, that will stay permanently. That will stay lifetimes after lifetimes, because it is a reality. That's what we accumulate now in our life with service, with chanting, with our surrender. That will stay forever in our soul. Because it is the most quintessences, it is the most internal, most fine reality connected with the Lord. So it will never leave us, never. Austerity or one-pointed attention, exclusive celibacy, subjugated of the internal and external senses, charity, truthful speech, cleanliness, sensual discipline, headed by non-violence, mental regulation, headed by regular utterance or concentration on mantras. By the strength of such practices, faithful liberationist jnanis who know the mysteries of religion drive away even the most grievous sins committed in thought, word, and deed. As bamboo clusters are destroyed by fire, the landscape may be clear for a whole year, but next year, with the coming of the rainy season, many shrubs will inevitably sprout again. But the type of purity we shall attain when coming in connection with the service of Vasudeva Sri Krishna is of eternal factor and peculiarly purest nature. We cannot hope to attain this by any other method than our submission to and acceptance of the service of Lord Sri Krishna, reality the beautiful. Okay, we stop here for today. Any additions? Jai. Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion, chapter The Brightest Sun, Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Rakshidhadev Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Hari Yaraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopa Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinath Śrī Caitanya-Nityananda Śrī Advaita Chandra Gadadhara Śrīvasari Gora Bhakta-vrinda Jaya Rupa Sanatan Bhattara Guna Śrī Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasara Guna Echai Kusai Kori Charana Bandam Yai Te Vignana Sadhistapura Echai Kusai Jai Muitarada Kansavara Padare Nomura Panchakras Gambira Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanebas Janame Janame Moe Abhilas Echai Kosai Jabe Braja Kolaba Radha Krishna Madhya-līlā Korila Prakash Anandi Bolo Hari Bhakya Vrindavan Sri Guru Vaishnava Parima Jayama Sri Guru Vaishnava Vaipātatmatoriya. Harinam Sankirtana Purnaya Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nita Gora Haribo, Haribo, Nita Gora Haribo. Nita Gora Haribo, Haribo, Nita Gora Haribo. Jaya Saparikara Sri Guru Gauranga Sundar Radha Giridhar Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Rakak Siddhadev Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Swāmī Prabhupada Ki Jai. Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta Śrī Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta Ki Jai. Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta London Chapter Ki Jai. Sarpasada Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Sarpasada Sri Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Ganga Yamuna Chu Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Vrinda Devi Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Sri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Sri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sri Purushottama Dham Ki Jai. Jagannātha Baladev Subhadra Chu Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees Ki Jai. All glories to the world devotees Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Śrī Acharya Mahavishnu Avatar. Śrī Acharya's Divine Appearance Day Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura